Right, we're live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for the first match of the Los Angeles Sevens. This one's going to be a cracker. It is South Africa taking on USA, and also in this group, they have got New Zealand. So only two of those top sides will be able to make their way through. But this game should be an absolutely awesome way to start it off in LA. Looking through at South Africa's starting lineup, they have got Zane Davids, Ryan Oosterhuizen, JC Pretorius, the Vault Human, Siviwe Soyas-Wapi, the captain, Muller Duplessis, and Sean Williams in that starting lineup. Then for the USA, Steve Thomasin, Schroeder's there, David Still, Falau Nui, or Nuia, in fact it is, Puri Baker, Neymar Fualao, I always say his name wrong, and Lucas Lecamp is there in the starting lineup as well. So these two sides, they've certainly packed a punch in the past. USA, they are sitting in 6th overall in the rankings for the World 7 circuit. South Africa sitting number 1. So that is going to be massive for them. There are still 4 possible teams who could win the 7 circuit. Those teams are South Africa, Fiji, sneak their way in there, Australia, and Argentina. So Australia and Argentina currently, they are sitting in 2nd and 3rd, but South Africa number 1 and ready to go for another tournament. They are recently coming off their gold medal at the Commonwealth Games where they were able to beat the Fijians quite comfortably, which was a quite surprising upset. See how one-sided of a final that could be, but it looks like South Africa will have the kickoff for this game in Los Angeles. The weather's looking beautiful, as always, and both of these sides will be looking for some more gold in the cabinet. And Sevens World Series making our weekends even more hectic since forever. Says Sebastian, exactly right. It will be Branco Dupre, or in fact, sorry, the Vault Human, who will be kicking us off for that one. Dupre instead going to be coming off the bench, added back into the lineup for this one, but no Selvin Davids. That is an absolutely massive hit for South Africa, and I do hope he is going to be back in time for the Cape Town Sevens World Cup, because if he is, he's going to certainly be able to help them out big time. But USA, they've got this ball just inside of their own 22, trying to break through the line. It's a nice tackle made on, of course, the man whose name I cannot say very well, Fua the Owl. Now nice run from, I believe that would have been number 3, David Still. Quite a lanky individual, similar to what we see in the frame of Puri Baker. Both have explosive pace and are dangerous anytime they have the ball. That is going to be the penalty now to the USA. They will be looking to take this one quickly with Falau Nuia. Now, big injury concern for the USA is no Devon Williams for this series. Also, still no Carlin Isles. Does mean they're missing a few of those big names that they would have loved to have. But the same can be said about the Blitzboks, but currently 6 minutes still left in this first half. USA have won 2 cup titles in the USA, 2018 and 2019, so not too bad of a record when they do play at home. And it could cause a massive upset if they can somehow make their way through this first match and beat New Zealand as well. We could see South Africa missing out, making it through to the next stage and come on the box. Says Johannes, and also you're a machine, bro, says Nazi Williams. Yeah, we are currently 4:22 a.m. here in New Zealand. Little knock on from the USA. And now the Blitzboks will have the feed. I believe that was JC Pretorius creating a little bit of extra pressure there on the breakdown. South Africa have earned just 41 series points since Singapore, the last of all 5 top teams. They are having a little bit of a rough patch, but that is because they had the absolute dream start to their 7th series of 2022. They were on a massive winning streak. Let's see what South Africa does here. Here's Andre Vermeulen. Ball being fed in by Sean Williams. Big push from the USA, almost enough to get the penalty for them, but instead the penalty does go the way of the Blitzboks. Looks like neither side really in a huge hurry to keep this one alive, maybe kicking for the corner for South Africa as well. Is that the plan, or are they going to take the quick tap? It looks like a quick tap now for South Africa. I was going to say very structured from both sides to both go for the corner rather than taking the quick tap. Now slung across, it's going to be JC Pretorius. He has got a ton of base, but he's tackled by Lucas Lecamp, just staying in the field of play, close to a knock-on from Zane Davids, and it is. How's it, Hamish? Hope you had your KFC. Said, no, we have still got another 10 hours or so before, or in fact, probably closer to 12 hours before we get our KFC, just because it was the middle of the night, pretty much when we did end up finishing those other live streams. But myself and George, the plan will be to finish these 7s live streams, because we have got 10 of them that we are doing of the match commentary. Then after that, I'll go to sleep for about 3 or 4 hours, wake up, head to KFC with George, come back home, go back to sleep, wake up, do some more of the 7s, because we're into the quarterfinals. I didn't want to say it, Let's see if they can do better than the Union and you never sleep. Says Johannes, I think I just sleep strategically. I make sure I get my 8 hours. Sometimes it's just in about 3 or 4 different spaces, depending on what the weather, or not what the weather, but depending on what the schedule looks like. Great stepping down the wing for Perry Baker. Moving up to halfway, but has been tackled by his opposite number, Severe Suya's Wapi. Now fired back across Nuia. One more. This is nice play from the USA, getting it out to David Still. He's hard to stop, and I don't know whether they're going to catch him. In fact, Sean Williams tries to. He's going to be bumped off, and the USA go in for the first try of this competition in front of a home crowd. They have erupted there in LA, and beautifully done by David Still. Enjoy, bud. Says Nuno there, and 8 hours and sleep. I'll sleep in 3 installments, says Sebastian. And there, yeah, I think that is going to be the plan for tonight. I also wanted to watch the BBL draft, but I realized that will be during the main sleeping hours for myself, so I don't think that will be completely possible, unless, of course, it might be, depending on how we go. I might end up just watching it outside of a live stream or anything like that and try for the US. There, a beautiful try for David Still. I mentioned about that large frame. He kind of reminds me of a 100-meter sprinter. The way he is built, he just seems like he's able to accelerate extremely quickly. That kick has gone over as well. So now the score will be 7-0 in favor of the USA after 2 minutes and 20 seconds, or 2 minutes, 20 seconds left of the half, I should say. And I wonder what the odds were saying for this match. I think the USA would have been heavy underdogs, although with Selvin Davids out of that Blitzboks lineup, it is always a concern. It's going to be bouncing straight back up to the USA. Now Perry Baker tries to go with the wide cutout pass. LeCamp, man on the outside. David's still going to have to get that acceleration going, trying to bump off Sawyer's Wapi, who's been able to drag him down very nicely. Nuia, USA putting all the pressure on. It's going to be an advantage for Zane. David's rushing up. They have got the quick tap available. USA keeping it alive. He wasn't on the mark. And Thomasine not too happy with it. The referee a little bit slow getting up to the marker for that one. I think the USA coach knows it as well. And after all these games in time, you still got the same energy from the start. That's a gift from God, says Nazi Williams. And yeah, that's the thing. We've probably done maybe 10 hours of live streams today, something along those lines. But I'm still wide awake, which surprises me since we are sitting 4:30. I think by about 9 a.m., we might start to slowly go downwards. But for now, yeah, still very hyped up. So let's recap. Springboks lost. Proteas are as good as gone. Blitzboks are trailing. What a day for South Africa, says Sebastian. How many wickets down are the Blitzboks, or not the Blitzboks, are the Proteas at the moment, Sebastian? I didn't actually catch any of that third session, and I believe it's still going. Or is it just finished? No, there must still be just a little bit more time left of the day. Another little mistake, though, from the USA that time. For Thomasine passes it behind the number 10. And quite able to take it the way that he needed. Go USA, says Nazi Williams. Now fed in Sean Williams. Has it available for the Blitzboks. Kick downfield, looking for the touchline, and he has been able to do so. Just having to play a little bit of the territory game for the Wald Human. He's not happy at all, though, with that kick. And 7 wickets down and trailing by 90 runs. What happened? They were doing so well. Maybe they just needed us watching them, because they look set, they look good to go. But now it seems like they may not even get out of day 3. And if they do, they'll only get a little tiny bit of day 4 by the sounds of it. Now about to be thrown in by Nuia. Good long throw from the USA. Now going to be back available. Nuia with the overlap pass. Now out to David Still. In fact, it's Perry Baker this time. Not able to get through. Good work in the breakdown. In fact, he just leave his feet. So it does become the penalty, and a double blow of the whistle, a yellow card. And that will be frustrating for Sean Williams, just chucking the ball away rather than just putting it down. And Foster needs to stop killing our rugby stats. Needs to leave, says Inked Up. And there is, it's certainly not the one that they wanted to have today. It's the first time ever that Argentina have been able to beat New Zealand on New Zealand soil. I believe it's also the first time ever that the All Blacks have faced or had 3 defeats in a row on New Zealand soil. 2 against Ireland and 1 against the Argentines. Nui about to feed this ball with a man advantage, I should say, for the scrum. Nuia going off the back. He's got LeCamp, sold the dummy. He's just managed to fire an absolute miracle pass off to LeCamp. It didn't seem like it should have been possible, but he's just been able to use his body weight to his advantage. Now ball out wide to Perry Baker, trying to bump off Sawyers Wapi, breaking through tackles. Now 5 meters out, Sawyers Wapi straight over the ball. It's bounced down beautifully. Thomasine gives it off to big Joe Schroeder, and it's another try for the USA. They are playing like a side who want to impress their home crowd, and that man's dressed like Hulk Hogan, and he was going to tell them something, brother. He's going to say it's another try for the USA, and try. That's another extra hurt at home on our land, says Nazi Williams. And if England wins by an innings, we're even. Let the third test decide it all, and Proteas need 100 runs and can declare, says Johannes. And although I don't see them declaring at any point soon, as they haven't got any more innings left in the tank. So the English are certainly in the box seat. That was nicely done by Joe Schroeder. How many Hulk Hogans can you have in the crowd? The answer is about 7 in that group. And there's probably a few more throughout the ground as well. That kick has gone over. And now it does make the score 14-0 at halftime. Bad weekend for South Rugby by the looks of it. There's Mimania. Currently 14-0 down against the USA. Although one big thing for South Africa is normally when they're down in a game of sevens, they cannot be counted out until they are 21 or more points down. They are currently 14. Not the best start to the match, but anytime a team scores an amount of points in the first half, the other side can score that amount. And the second, Hulk Bogan in the house. And what is going on, says Decto Spark at the moment. It is 14-0 in favour of the USA. They've had one carry for South Africa, so that is definitely something that has changed it completely in this matchup. They've made 10 tackles, they've missed 6. That is where we've seen David Still and also Perry Baker get relatively close. Strange series. I meant 2 blowouts, basically 1-4 each side. Hopefully the third test will be closer. I hope it goes 5 days. We just seem to be going for 3-day test matches at the moment. And also, are there crowds there? Certainly are. There isn't a huge amount there by the looks of it for the early games, but normally when we get later on in the day, that's when we start to see a few more piling in, because I believe it's must be about 10 a.m. in the USA, somewhere around there. And yes, USA says Viniana and the under-18s also lost against France. So yeah, it's not a good day at the moment for South Africa rugby, but maybe they can turn it around. They've got a game later on up against the All Blacks, or the All Black Sevens. New Zealand Sevens is going to be awesome, and we will also be covering that game on the channel. But nonetheless, second half just about to get underway. It will be the US kicking off this one. Quite a few people in the shade by the looks of it. 10 minutes till the game between New Zealand and Canada does kick off. We won't actually be covering that game, though. We will be skipping that one, and we will be skipping England and Scotland as well, going straight into the next match after those two, which is Samoa, and they will be taking on Kenya, I believe it is. And come on, Blitzboks, give us something to cheer for, says Techno Sparker, and half past 10 in LA. And unbloody believable, my guy. What a game. Says Nathan, yeah, brilliant start for the home crowd favourites, I guess you could say, in terms of the noise that is made for the US. Great run here from Adonis, though, and even better tackle made by Lucas LeCamp. It's stolen back by the USA. They've got it just outside of the 22. LeCamp recycles quickly, just manages to stay on his feet. It wasn't the pass that they needed to Perry Baker, and it will be a knock-on. And now going back to the scrum for the South Africans. Perry Baker, a bit disappointed with the fact that that pass was half an inch behind him. Soon as he gets it in his hands, he's normally gone towards the try line. Sean Williams still going to be off the field for another minute or so. That is from chucking the ball away in the first half. Perry Baker, though, 2 times World Sevens Player of the Year, 226 tries. Very handy number for the USA. And I'd have to say David Still's looking like he could be Perry Baker 2.0, the way we saw him running a bit earlier on in the contest. But Adonis feeding that ball in now for the Blitzboks. Tries to get it back. It's going to become a penalty. I believe he was coming in the side there for the USA. And that is against Joe Schroeder. Now, my question is, what happened to Joe Schroeder's mullet? He had it for a little while. To all suffering South Africans, I've got cheerful news. Proteas have lost another wicket there, 8 down. Oh, no. So it's not going well for the Proteas at the moment. That one hasn't found touch either, so it gets worse for South Africa. 5.5 minutes left in this contest. Good run forward from Falau Nuia. Passes across. USA now trying to link up. LeCamp has a bit of a juggle with the ball. He's dragged down by Miladupa. Now Perry Baker back to the right-hand side. LeCamp goes to Nuia. They've got some pacey individual. Schroeder goes off now to David Still. Good running hard at the line. Almost had his mouth guard knocked out of his mouth in the process. That's normally where the mouth guard goes. Perry Baker, he knows where he needs to go, and that's all the way to the try line. It's another for the USA, and that's going to make the score now 21-0 for the United States. What a forgetful weekend for South Africans, says G2 Gigs. The best news is, no matter what happens in 1 week, there's always the next. And South Africa, I believe they'll be able to bounce back up against the Australians. Maybe they bounce back against England as well. Try for the US. Says Sebastian, brilliantly done by Perry Baker. Anything David still can do, Perry Baker has still absolutely got it as well. And that makes it 227 tries for Perry Baker. And rub it in, says Nazi Williams. And try, says Nathan as well. And like they're saying, a 21-0 lead is normally enough. Now, this makes me slightly concerned for South Africa, because if they don't make it through to the quarterfinals still very early on in the competition, I guess we can't win them all, says Techno Sparker. And yeah, that is a very good point. At the end of the day, some weeks are going to go your way, some weeks aren't. South Africa, they're having a rougher one this week, but they're going to be back. And South Africa's need getting spread like peanut butter by the Eagles, says Mimania. But yeah, if they don't make it through to the quarterfinals, there's a chance we either see Australia or Argentina or maybe even Fiji manage to make their way through and become the World 7 Circuit champions. The fact that we've still got 4 sides that can win it from here is absolutely incredible. It looks like South African coach very frustrated at the moment with what is happening. And don't forget Kiwis Father's Day, says Nazi Williams. Oh, of course, we have just ticked over, or we ticked over a few hours ago, didn't we? South Africa lost cause this week, or lost cause this week, and yes, but we can lose them all, says Johannes Payne. Now scrum feed, and they are back in. Did they just say Neil Powell's going to be leaving the Blitzboks? That is a big one to have. I hope that's after the World Cup, because if that's before, that puts a huge amount of pressure on whoever the next one is. The second half already just blinked. Honestly, I did. Says Nathan there. Yeah, the Sevens games go extremely quickly, which is why they're absolutely awesome to be able to watch. Great run forward now. And he has just gone down there, Miller Duplessis. 45 minutes out from the Blitzboks lines, but they have got possession. Adonis gives it back across. He's hit hard. Now they're kicking behind. Looks like JC Pretorius. He might be able to win the foot race, although Schroeder's got the longer legs, and he's been able to get back there and protect the ball. But JC Pretorius, he's a menace over a breakdown, and he's won the penalty for the Blitzboks. They will take this one quickly. They've got numbers on the outside. It's going to be 3-on-3. Nice step there. Big fend from, I believe it would have been the big man Makata. And that is the South Africans getting their first try of the 7 series. For LA, that is. They've scored a lot in the past. In fact, they were the best defense in the Commonwealth Games and also scored the most tries. South Africa playing not good. Says Barry, although you've arrived and they've scored a try, maybe you are their good luck charm. Then Father's Day, 4th of September. There says Far. I guess it does depend on whereabouts you are in the world, doesn't it? Nice kick. Oh, he's fallen over in the process there, Sean Williams, but he's still got it over, and now it makes a score 21 points to the USA and 7 to South Africa. And something tells me Eskom, hopefully I've pronounced that correctly, is going to give us load shedding just to add on this weekend, says Tom. Currently just under 2 minutes left, Barry. So not a lot of time at all. It's going to be a bit of work there from the Springboks Sevens. And they've actually given away the penalty. Jumping up in the air. I believe they've said they've played him in the air. South Africa can win the series with a top 4 finish, and Australia not winning the event. So that's massive. 1 minute, 25 seconds, says Nathan there. And did I get it wrong? Says Duzzy Williams. I mean, if you got it wrong, I also got it wrong. So don't feel too bad about it. They did say there was contact in the air. I believe that would have been James Murphy. Did end up giving away that penalty. So South Africa have not won a medal since winning the first 4 events this season, although we should mention a gold medal at the Commonwealth Games, not too bad. And Neil Powell is the new director of the Sharks. After World Cup, he goes to the Sharks. And nice one, USA. USA, says Nazi Williams. USA will upset South Africa. They need to play defence, says Latu. Nicely done, Schroeder. Although it is going to be tidied up by the Blitzboks. Still 1 minute left on the clock. If they score right at this very moment, there's a chance they could get themselves towards the draw, but it's a great tackle made on Darren Adonis by the USA. Bit of a counter ruck as well, trying to turn it over, but it is just still, no, it's a penalty to the USA. And I think Nui knows straight away what that means for them. And you never expect South Africa to be like this. You think this would be a tough game, but as looked like they're getting a hiding. And also, where's Katie Ham? Is she joining this party? She may be. Possibly. It is at least in a decent time zone, seeing as the games are taking place from the USA this week. And we don't have a Father's Day in Romania. Fathers are barely seen as people here. They're just a helpful force within the family. Says Sebastian and Vanaka, TKL, looking forward to the Fiji first game, says Viniana. And the next game that we are going to be covering on the channel, it will be the matchup between Samoa and Kenya. That will be a pretty awesome one. How much time left, says Tom? Currently 37 seconds, and it will be a USA line-out throw. So not really the way South Africa would have seen their first game going. This points differential could be huge. Definitely if USA can get themselves one more. But if South Africa score one, they are still well and truly in the hunt. Fiji all the way, baby, says Latu. And I believe their first game is going to be up against Wales. We are also covering that one on the channel. In fact, we are covering all of Fiji's games today. Now, nice run here from the youngster, number 13, Cody Melfi. Now back across, 6 seconds left. Nice step there from the USA. Not quite able to find that pass off that they needed from Unafi. They will kick it into touch and they will accept a 14-point win. Brilliantly done by the USA. A dream start to their LA Sevens and hoping for at least one more try in Fiji too far down the table, says Mimania. And there, although they will still be able to help build themselves momentum heading into that Cape Town Sevens World Cup, which is only a few weeks away, which is pretty awesome to see. That is nicely done by the USA. They win it 21 points to 7. And next stream is Samoa versus Kenya, says Sebastian. It certainly is. So we have got that next one. I will get you the time that one is starting. Next game that is actually taking place for this Sevens is New Zealand versus Canada. But we have got just a little break in between. Save the vocal cords. I decided to pick my top 10 games that I did want to cover rather than doing too many more. I didn't want to spam your notifications too badly. But the game, it is going to be Samoa versus Kenya at 5:25 a.m. New Zealand time. So only in about 45 minutes time, it's the next contest that we are going to be covering. Well done, USA. Yeah, brilliantly played. They had more of the possession, more of the territory, and also were more clinical when it came to being able to score the tries with Perry Baker, also Joe Schroeder, and then the other man in the starting lineup, David Still. And there was Eagles final, I think. Well, that was Eagles final, I think, at Cheers, mate, says Sebastian. So, yeah, we will see you all in about 40 minutes time or so for Samoa versus Kenya. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all for the next